All right, hello everybody. Apologize, I've got something in my in my eye here. Give me just a moment. We're going to let everybody filter in for the next minute or two, and then we're going to get going. Okay, we're going to get started in about 30 seconds here. Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody, for being on the call or on the webinar rather today. My name is Cole. I'm the founder and the CEO at LocalLine. I was fortunate to do one of these webinars with you guys last year. This is effectively a version 2.0. We're going to cover all of the basics about LocalLine, how it works, what it is, what you get should you be accepted or approved into the Perennia program. And we're also going to talk about what's new in LocalLine versus last year. We had a full year. We've built and added a lot of really wonderful features and done a lot of good updates. So I'm going to take a minute and talk about those as well. We are going to actually end up doing a demo. So we're going to take 10 or 15 minutes and go through a demo. And I believe we have a Q&A on the webinar here with us, as well as the ability to raise a hand. So in the bottom nav bar of your screens, you should see a little raise hand button. Feel free to interrupt me at any time. I'm happy to make this as conversational as possible. You're welcome to raise your hand or to ask a question, and I'll do my best to keep an eye on those buttons, and then we can sort of stop me midway through the presentation if that's best. Before we kick into it, I do see that Helen is on the call. Thank you, Helen, for being here. I'm going to push this allow to talk button. Helen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's great. I didn't know if maybe you wanted to introduce yourself or introduce the program a little bit.
Sure. I'm Helen. I'm the project coordinator for the Accelerated Direct Marketing project this year. This is a project that's being funded by the Nova Scotia Department of Agriculture to help producers of horticultural products, aquaculture products, and producers of food and beverage products in Nova Scotia to be able to set up a store online to help them with sales during these times of the COVID-19 pandemic. The good news is, it seems like we're coming out of that a bit, but the information from last year's clients let us know that people were able to reach new clients with this method, as well as finding a new way to reach their existing clients. People have said it was no more expensive than having a second table at another market, and have continued with the project throughout the remainder of the year. So I'm hoping that all of you will be successful in getting and applying for the program, and setting up your online store and being able to use it to great advantage to yourself. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much, Helen. I'm going to, how do I do this, mute here, and then I'm going to share my screen and get going. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Great. I'm going to share my screen because I have a few slides that we're going to walk through here. Wonderful. I'm going to assume that you're all seeing my screen. If not, feel free to use that chat or use that Q&A section there. Wonderful. So as Helen had said, so LocalLine is an e-commerce storefront that's built specifically for the local food system. So what we mean by that is mostly built exclusively for farmers. We also work with wholesalers. We work with farmers markets and a pretty wide variety of what we call food producers. So can include other folks that do different sort of value add products like any kinds of jams or spreads or sausages type thing, cheeses, things like this. And so, we partnered with Perennia last year. Perennia, we give them a lot of credit. They were very quick to act during the pandemic and try to find ways to support the farms in Nova Scotia. And so they came to LocalLine and effectively we worked out an agreement to get the accounts of LocalLine into the hands of farms in Nova Scotia as fast as possible and as frictionless as possible. Like Helen had indicated, that program worked quite well last year to the point where now we've sort of done it again for this upcoming season, really just trying to find a way to get the technology that you guys need to grow your businesses in as little amount of effort and friction as possible, as low cost as possible, knowing that it's very helpful to have, in this case, like a 6-month head start, basically, right? Where you don't have to pay for the platform for 6 months. You get to start getting value, getting orders, growing your business. And then by the time you pay for your own subscription, you're well on your way anyway. It is like having a second sort of stall at the market. I hadn't heard that analogy before, Helen, but I think that that's quite good. So that's a little bit of the context. We'll jump into some of the slides here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the agenda, but we're just going to talk about the kind of farm that works really well with LocalLine. We're going to go through a demo, like I had mentioned, talk about some success stories, review the actual Perennia offer, the agreement, right? Because you do get 6 months covered on your account, and so we're just going to talk about the criteria that you have to meet in order to qualify for that. In total, expectation is to be able to get through this in about a half an hour. So we probably will have some time left over if there are any questions. But we will jump right into it. I just want to check if there's Q&A now. I'm not sure where I'm looking. Doesn't matter. As I said, my name is Cole. I'm the founder and the CEO at LocalLine. We started LocalLine in January of 2016. At the time that we started LocalLine, we had interacted with many family farmers in our area in Waterloo, which is about an hour and a half west of Toronto, and found that most of them were using some combination of sticky notes and spreadsheets to run their businesses, to run all of their sales and their logistics and their marketing. And that's not inherently bad, but we did find that it became very challenging to do two things: to grow your audience, because if you're not online, it's much more difficult to be discovered today. And it also was pretty time consuming to fulfill all of the orders. There comes a point where if you're doing 20 orders or 50 orders or 100 orders or 500 orders a week, you need a very efficient pick and pack process and how to load and how to ship and when to invoice and when to get paid. There's a workflow that was very randomized. And we just thought that there was a good opportunity to try to inject some digitization and efficiency into that process at a pretty low cost way for the farm. So that was the kind of original idea for LocalLine. That was sort of how it got going. I have a slide that shows, okay, it's in a different slide, but today we've got a team of about 30 people. Like our company is about 30 people. Most of us are based in Ontario, but we do have some out in BC and sort of scattered all around Ontario. And we work with about 8,100 farms all across North America. So in every province and in every state. Some places are denser than others, as you might imagine, but it's a fairly wide geographic reach that we have as a business. So as I said, LocalLine's an e-commerce platform for farmers. What does that actually mean? This is a little bit of the actual benefits that you get when you use LocalLine. So this is what I mentioned what I mean when I had mentioned, injecting some digitization into the process. So some of the things that we've seen are order sizes will go up by up to 42%. This is it's actually like a really magical thing when you take your products from a spreadsheet where it's very difficult for customers to know exactly what you have to offer that week, to simply just putting that list online and making it such that that customer can scroll through your product list, and while they're rebuilding the same order they had last week, they can be reminded, oh yeah, they have blueberries, right? And they add that to the order. So cart sizes increase pretty well off the bat, which is one of the most exciting things to see as soon as you get it implemented, because the platform effectively starts to pay for itself as soon as those cart sizes start to increase. We've seen up to a 69% reduction in order errors. So, not bringing the tomatoes when they ordered tomatoes, or bringing 2 cucumbers when they ordered 1 cucumber. This is a very expensive process, as I'm sure that all of you guys know. And the beautiful thing about LocalLine is that when you use LocalLine, you use it for all of your orders. So your customers order from you online, but you can also log orders on behalf of your customers. You can do this at the market, you can do it roadside stand, you can just do it yourself, because a customer might email you and say, oh, hey, they want, a bag of, apples or whatever, and you can log it in LocalLine. So LocalLine is a system of record for all of the orders that you have, which means that anytime you go and you print a pick list or a pack list, it's got every single product that's been ordered from that customer organized and neatly laid out for you to basically start to pick and start to pack. Great. Okay, good. Yeah. So the Perennia slide. So this is earlier in the presentation. So again, kudos to Perennia, a wonderful organization, have done a lot to help farms in Nova Scotia over the last year. They've re-upped on the program again this year. There's a bunch of licenses that can be covered for up to a 6-month period. If you would like to apply, you go to site.localine.ca/Perennia, and you guys will all get the recording of this webinar and this deck as well, like these slides. So you can just click the link if you'd like. But you go there, you fill in a very quick application. We're just looking for your name, your business name. I believe we're looking for your farm registration business number or something to that effect. I think I'm saying it wrong, but something to that effect. And then Perennia reviews the application. Once Perennia approves you, then they forward that to my team. My team reaches out to you, and we're the ones that help you get your store up and running, add your products and your photos and any of your logistics information, deliveries or pickups, customers, etc. It sounds like a lot, but it goes quite quick. There's really no reason to not be able to do it in a day or two, assuming that you want to have it up and running in a day or two, and then we launch the store. I just had a notification here quickly. I'm just going to see. I've got one chat. Thank you, Helen. Farm registration number. That is okay. So I wasn't totally off. I added a few fancy words, but that's so we need the farm registration number as well as just some basic contact information. We asked for what you grow, how many months you're in operation, simple stuff like that. But that's the link that you go to. You submit your application. Typically, it's within a couple day turnaround time. You don't have to wait very long, and then our team reaches out and goes to get you set up. In the event that you're not approved for the program, that doesn't mean you cannot be a LocalLine customer. You absolutely can be a LocalLine customer, but of course your fees will not be covered. So you'll pay your own monthly subscription. Those monthly subscriptions, it depends on the account that you'd like. They typically start at $60 a month, but we have programs for new farmers that make it more affordable. So if you're a new farmer, you can apply for our new farmer program. The cost goes up the more features that you need, but there's a pricing page on our website on localine.ca that you can go and look at and see exactly what it is that you need. Okay. Good. So there's two ways that we talk about the features in LocalLine, right? The first bucket of features are the features that any normal human would expect in an e-commerce application, right? It has an online store. It will track your inventory automatically. So you just say, I have 100, apples, and as apples are ordered from your store, it'll deduct the inventory from your store. It'll help you organize your deliveries and your pickups. What's a bit unique about LocalLine is that you can organize now your deliveries and your pickups by city, by town, but also by postal code or by radius, around you. This is something that's new from last year. Last year, we only allowed you to say, oh, hey, I delivered to Halifax on Mondays and Thursdays, as an example. Now it's much different. You can really slice and dice the regions that you deliver to, like I said, according to a particular radius around an address or according to specific zip codes. So if you only happen to service the east side of Halifax, on Wednesday, you can add those postal codes and not the other ones. But right, so some generic stuff, including online payments. We integrate with both Stripe and with Square. We know that most folks use Square. It's obviously a wonderful system. So you can accept online payments. You can also do offline payments. You can ask for cash, e-transfer. Sometimes there's different coupons or food stamp systems that exist in other areas of North America. You can use those as well. And then the second bucket of value is things that are kind of specific to farmers. I've mentioned the pick and pack list a couple of times, but that's a very important workflow. We have a brand new reports and analytics application that just launched that tracks a lot of farm specific metrics. And the other thing that's really wonderful about LocalLine is that you can use LocalLine to connect with all of the other farms, wholesalers, and farmers markets in your area, also using LocalLine. So you can actually buy and sell from other farms. You can apply to join your local market. We see lots of cases where farmers themselves, a group of farmers, 5 or 6 of them, will actually self-organize together and create their own online grocery store effectively using LocalLine. You can have your individual stores linked together to become a broader store. It offers more choice for the customer. And this is very special, right? Because we know that local food in many cases is about the community. It's a team effort. There's always multi-party commerce, right? Multi-vendor commerce that is finding its way, directly to the consumer in some way, shape, or form. And that's one thing that you'll find in LocalLine that you maybe wouldn't find with some other generic systems, is some features that are built specifically for the farmer. On top of that, we have a free trial, so you can come in and try before you buy, take LocalLine for a test drive before you decide if it's right for you. We're well known for our customer service, and we take that extremely seriously. We've got a customer support team that's staffed from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week, minus any major holidays like Christmas and stuff. But we're very available. Call us anytime. You talk to a real human. Email us anytime. We always get back to you at maximum within a couple of hours. And that's just something that we know. At the end of the day, farmers, ultimately, you guys do not just need another software vendor. It's much more helpful to feel like you've got somebody that's kind of a partner, that's in your corner, that's watching out for things online, that's writing new features and getting you things that you need, and effectively giving you guys more mental space to just focus on the actual farming, which is the most important part. So we try to think of ourselves in that way. So this is I've touched on it a little bit. So as I mentioned, we've got 8,100 farms that use LocalLine. What you're looking at on the right side of the slide is the heat map of where LocalLine's customers are. The takeaway from this is just how LocalLine grows from word of mouth. So our business does very little paid online advertising. The overwhelming majority of our customers come from word of mouth from other farms. And so what you'll notice if you look at that heat map is that over time, what starts as like a few blue dots, which was our team in the early days, just like calling farmers that we thought would be a good fit for LocalLine. It starts to bubble up. You start to get those red pockets, in different areas of the continent, and that's because it grows from word of mouth. That's a big thing for us, and I'm sure that's a big thing for you guys as well. So some of these things on the slide may seem obvious, but it's always worth mentioning, what kind of farm is the right farm to use LocalLine. Number one criteria, you're doing direct sales. It does not have to be to families or like to households. You can absolutely use LocalLine to sell to restaurants, to grocery stores, to schools, hospitals, hotels, catering companies. We have seen it all. So you can absolutely have different customer segments that you're selling to, but LocalLine is going to be most helpful for you if you have a product, probably your own, that you are selling and marketing direct to a customer. You are the one that is accepting the order, that is packing it, that is loading it, shipping it, doing the invoicing. You have the relationship. If you are a cash crop farmer, or you are a different farmer that like sells at auction or sells entirely through wholesale, LocalLine may be kind of helpful as an inventory management solution, but probably not helpful enough for you to really, go deploy it in your business as a system that's going to drive a lot of value. So main thing is you're selling to your own customers. You want to spend less time on admin. So one of the benefits is the back office workflows that LocalLine has cut down on the paperwork dramatically. So you have the workflows and the reports that you need automatically to pull to get the information that you need, whether you're planning your routes or, whether you're planning your packing, effectively anything that has to do with packing and shipping that order. We've got reports for you to look at. If you're looking to grow and scale, this is always a big one. It's completely fine if you're sort of maxed out for the year and are comfortable, and maybe you already have 300 or 400 customers and you want an online system to streamline that. Absolutely, some farms use LocalLine for that. But the most exciting thing is growing, of course. I hope that most of you had a chance to grow over 2020. We certainly saw effectively every farm that was on LocalLine, certainly the ones that were selling to families, had pretty stellar years. And that's a big benefit of being online, is it's really easy for your customers to refer other customers, right? You've got a link on the internet now that links to your online store. It's very easy for me to buy, a CSA box from you and share that with a friend and get the word of mouth and get more customers ordering from you. Great. I'm not going to spend as much time here because I think I maybe spoke a little bit about it on the last slide, but again, effectively, LocalLine is a system of record for all of your orders. So you think of an accounting system as where, that's the default home for all of your numbers. LocalLine is the default home for all of your orders and everything that happens to surround that, like your products, your inventory, your customers, your deliveries, your payments, your invoicing, things like this. We do have an integration with QuickBooks. We're building integrations with other accounting systems as well, so that, should you want to be able to move that information over to your other systems, you'll be able to. Great. I'm going to now go to our demo, and I'll do a quick pause for our Q&A and our chat. I think we're good. Great. If anybody does have a question, feel free to ask while I just bring up the accounts here. I wonder if I could do this one. No problem. Great. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is the storefront. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Dan, had a question here. Do you work with businesses that are not farms but are in the food business? Yeah, absolutely, Dan. Like we say farms because of the 8,100 food sellers that are on LocalLine. It's about 5,300 of them that are farms. So we tend to weigh more heavily towards farms, but arguably that's because that was the core focus of our business when we started. We do have lots of different kinds of food producers. Even lately, like the two big areas that we're seeing some growth right now is in flowers, so flower farms or florists, and in aquaculture, so other fisheries on both coasts actually that are finding good value in using LocalLine. I don't know if that answers your question specifically, but yeah, generally LocalLine is the e-commerce platform for food. So if you're selling, perishables, arguably, or more specifically food, then it's likely that we have other kinds of businesses like your own that would be using LocalLine. But happy to take that offline as well and talk to you. Great. So this is a storefront. So when you set up your account, this is an example. This is a demo account. So please forgive any inaccuracies and some like weird pricing or weird names maybe. But you get your own cover photo. You have a description of your business, the name of your business, and then this is effectively what your storefront looks like. So you have your own categories. You can have your own custom message to the customer. You can display where you deliver and any minimums that might be included in that. Same thing with any pickup that you'd have, and all of your products get displayed like this. In this case, we've got some products that are on sale. We've got some products that we sell in different packaging. So this is one of the other like sort of farm specific, or I should say food specific features that we offer, is the ability to say, okay, I have a skid of apples. I sell those apples in a 5-pound bag and a 10-pound bag. If I sell 10 5-pound bags and 10 5-pound bags and 8 10-pound bags, how much of my skid do I have left? So LocalLine will do the math for you to be able to sort of convert those units and track what you're selling. We can add products to the cart by simply doing that. You'll notice that our cart lights up. And in this case, we have chicken that's out of stock. Add as many products as we'd like, and then we go to checkout. If we're signed in, we go straight to the checkout. If we're not, I believe it asks us to do a sign in here. In this case, great, we're signed in. So we select our pickup or delivery. In this case, we'll do a pickup. We want to pick up at the farmer's market on the upcoming date that it's available. So you can list the dates that you're going to be at the market or that you're going to be doing delivery as an example. We would say continue to the next step. In this case, we have some different payment options. This is what I had mentioned previously. So in this case, maybe we want to pay by e-transfer, continue to the next step. If we have any special order notes to indicate, then we can type anything here to let the farm know, maybe I'll be at the market at 11:15. Customers don't have to use this, but they can if they'd like. And then ultimately you click place order. It says, thanks very much for placing your order. When an order gets placed, you as the farm are notified. You get an email notification with a breakdown of that order, and it shows up in your LocalLine dashboard, which is where I'm about to take you in a moment to show you. And then as a customer, I also get an email notification. I just had one, you probably can't see, I don't know, but I had one show up on my phone there to tell me that we had placed an order. Okay, so that's the quick over. Oh, sorry, guys, I missed a step here. I also just want to make it clear that you can embed your LocalLine store into your own website. Okay, so if you have a website with whoever, it doesn't matter, a Wix, a Squarespace, some other website builder, what you can do is you can take this screen that we're looking at here with your products, and you can embed it right on your website. You can customize the layout, the colors, the buttons, whatever it is that you'd like to match your brand, to match your style. And then the difference is that your customers don't go to localine.ca/pennies market. They go to, abcfoodproducer.com, and you might have an order button or a shop button. When they click that, they end up on this page that's all customized to your business. Very easy to do, a very simple copy and paste. That's literally just a copy and paste from our system into your website builder, and we have a lot of documentation to support that. The last thing I'll quickly mention here is that LocalLine has a website builder. It is free. It is 100% free to build and launch your own website using LocalLine. The website is localignesites.com. There we go. So in the event that you're in the market for a website, or you do not want to pay for your existing site, you want to build a new site, you can come here, build your own website completely free. You do not have to have a LocalLine e-commerce subscription. Lots of times they go hand in hand. But I just want everybody to know that as well. And you would not need to apply to the Perennia program to do that. You're all welcome to go build a website if you'd like. And then the application for the Perennia program to cover the fees would be for the e-commerce storefront. Great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, there we go. Let's do a refresh. We're going to take you into the dashboard for the seller side. So if you're a food seller, I'm going to show you how LocalLine works quickly on your side. If there are any questions about the storefront, I have the chat in front of me, so please feel free to enter those as well. Great. So we're logged in this case to Penny's Market, and Penny's Market was the account that we just placed an order on. So what you'll see here is Cole Jones placed an order for $45.50. That was the order that we just placed a moment ago. So it shows up here in this is like an activity feed. So this is a summary of all of the things that are happening in your storefront. It tracks when you're sending a catalog to a customer. It tracks when customers are ordering. It tracks when customers are viewing your catalog. So that means that they're viewing your storefront. And really, it's meant to just give you a high-level overview of what's been happening in your store that day. My store, I'm just going to quickly dance across these tabs at the top here. So my store obviously is where you build your store. First step number one is add your products. So we click the add product button. You can fill in all of the standard information that you would expect to fill in: your product name, any categories, if you want to create categories for your products, any descriptions, inventory. In this case, we have the package feature turned on. You don't have to use it, but if we do want to create different packages that we sell our products in, we can do that here. If a product is seasonal, we can turn that on and click a start and an end date. So the product will only show up on the day we tell it to, and it will automatically be removed from the store when it's out of season, effectively. And then visibility is like whether you basically want that product, turned on or turned off in the system. I'll make a note that you don't have to track inventory, right? So you can deselect the track inventory button. And what that does is our system treats the product as infinite. So technically, if we were selling, ground beef here and someone ordered 1 million pounds of ground beef, we would process, that order, right? That order would successfully go through the system. So sometimes that's a bad thing if you think people are going to order way more than what you have, but sometimes if you're a microgreens grower, as an example, tracking inventory ahead of time can be quite challenging. In many cases, you're kind of growing to order. So you don't have to use the inventory tracking if you don't want to. Great. And then obviously, as you add products, this is how they show up. Again, apologies on the demo account. Many of them are out of stock or out of season. You can upload your products all at once. If you have 300 products, you definitely do not have to sit there uploading them one by one every day. You just click this download products or upload products template. What you do is you download the template, which is like an Excel document that we give you. You copy your existing product list, paste it into our format, and then upload it into LocalLine, and you can upload 1,000 products. Takes, I think, 6 seconds. So it's fairly quick if you need to upload a bunch of products at once. This is where you build out your store. You do things like, share your store if you want to share on any social accounts. This is the embed on your store. So like I mentioned, if you want to customize the layout of your store and put it on your own website, this is the tab at which you do that. And payments is where you add in any of the payment terms that you'll remember that when we were a buyer or a customer that we just used to order from. Online payments, like I mentioned, we integrate with both Stripe and with Square. In this case, this account also has the Square terminal integration turned on. So LocalLine has a POS in partnership with Square. So you can actually, if you have different locations for your POS, you can process in-person payments as well, and it'll keep your inventory synced up both with your Square terminal and with LocalLine. So if you're in person at a farmer's market and somebody orders, 2 bags of carrots, you sell those 2 bags, it'll automatically deduct that inventory from your LocalLine store and vice versa. Okay, over to delivery plans. We can add a delivery plan, like I mentioned, by region. by a specific postal or zip code and by a radius. If we were going to add it by region, we might call the region name Halifax. The region itself is going to be Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. As you can see it in the drop down there. We can select whether we want that delivery region to apply to every single one of our customers or to just some customers, right? And the way we segment those customers is by catalogs. Catalogs is like a price list. So if you sell to restaurants and families, as an example, you might have 2 different price lists. So yeah, you can specify that, add any minimums, any delivery fees that you need, order lead times. We might say, hey, we deliver on, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday as an example. And then ultimately we would click create, and it would create that delivery plan for us so that when customers are ordering, those options are available to them when they're checking out. Wonderful. Pickup locations are effectively the same, so I'm not going to spend as much time, but it's basically just adding a delivery plan, except it's a specific address. Okay, so this is where all of your customers get housed. So LocalLine also offers like a CRM for your business. We track all of your customers. We track what catalog that they're in, the last time that they had a delivery, the amount of store credit that they have, which is another feature that we have, which is particularly helpful if you're a CSA or if you're a meat seller as well of any kind, and you have like minor adjustments to do at each order period because if you're selling a weighted product. If at any point you want to view the details of an account, you can view the details of an account. You get a specific activity feed for just that account. So it's similar to the one we saw on the home dashboard, except it's just for the actions that this customer has taken. You get all of their information, of course. You can send them a message if you'd like via email, and then you can manage their store credit if that's a feature that you're using. All of your orders show up in the order list here, and this is where I was mentioning a lot of the pick and pack reports that you can download. So let's say, as an example, we wanted to generate a pick list for our orders so far from this Sunday. Well, that's a bad guess for the demo account here. Let's pick a better time for a month ago, I guess, right? Up until today. Perfect. So it's going to give us, I think it's 25 orders a page. Looks like it's 2 pages, 30 some odd orders. What we're going to do here is we're going to select those orders. And then when we select those orders, what you'll notice is there's a lot of buttons that become visible on the top here. This is the log order function where you can log an order on behalf of a customer, or you can download orders, download a pick list, invoices, order summary, order total summary, all of the different reports that you might need. In this case, if we were preparing a pick list, we would just click download pick list. It gives us 2 options for a detailed or a summary pick list. In this case, let's say we just want a summary pick list. Our system is going to go ahead and download that pick list now for you in an Excel format so that you know exactly what to be picking from the field. Okay. Oh, how did that get over there? That's fine. The last thing that I want to spend a minute on is on the reports. So this is the new feature that I was talking about. We launched this. It's 38 different charts, metrics, and list reports across 5 different categories for your storefront to track effectively how everything is performing in your storefront and, arguably more broadly in your business. So in this case, we're looking at the previous month. We can specify by catalog if we'd like, but we're in the products tab now. We're tracking our best-selling products from top to bottom. We can look at our best-selling categories as well. Over that time period, we can see how many of our products are visible versus hidden from the storefront. We can look at the number of products per catalog, et cetera, et cetera. You get the picture. I won't go through all 38 for you, but orders tracks basically the number of orders that you're getting and total sales over a period of time, which is what this graph is showing you. And it gives you a bunch of particular product metrics, a number of products per order on average, canceled orders. Oh yeah, this is the store credit amount, which I think is a quite helpful one to know. Anyway, same with customers. Yeah, pickup, delivery, and storefront. The storefront will tell you some pretty interesting metrics. Actually, it's worth just spending a minute on that. It'll show you your most active shopping times during the day. Again, there's some wonky data in this demo account here. It'll show you your cart abandonment percentage. And so the cart abandonment rate is like, if your cart abandonment rate says 10%, it means 1 out of every 10 customers that's going to check out with you does not complete the checkout. It's very standard for e-commerce businesses. It's obviously ideal to be at 100%, but probably not likely. And so this is a great way to track what percentage of your customers are getting through the checkout, so you know if you're having any problems with any customers or not. Track sales by payment methods, etc. I'm rambling, but we are excited about it because it's quite helpful, and it's very helpful at the end of the year. For example, right? I mean, end of the year, you guys need to be doing your taxes. You need to be filing reports. It's very easy to be able to come in here, filter for the entire year, and what you can do with every single metric or every single graph in this reports tab is download it to a CSV. So, for example, if we wanted to download our most active shopping times, there's always a little cloud button in the top right. We can click download full results. We can click CSV. And I think you can see it maybe at the bottom of my screen. I'm not sure, but it's downloaded a CSV of that information for us. There's a few other features in the system on the right-hand side, like you can message all of your customers and have conversations with them. It just goes back and forth via email, but you can do it all from this interface. We've got a LocalLine community. I think if we click that, it takes us. Yeah. So we've got a LocalLine community on Facebook. We've got 423 of our customers that are in there right now. And it's an opportunity for all of our customers to connect on what's working really well and not working as well, and ideas and strategies and what have you. So if you do become a LocalLine customer, I recommend joining that. It's a pretty wonderful group. We've got a very detailed and exhaustive support center. So if you guys ever need anything, have questions, you don't want to call or email, it's a quick thing. You want to know, for example, how to add a delivery or pickup location. We have videos, we have instructions about literally anything that you can get yourself into on the platform. We have written it down here. So that's always available to you if you do need any help. And then we have a bunch of pretty standard account settings. You can change your password, you can update your notifications, you can close your store if you'd like, you can set custom tax rates, which sometimes are a thing, maybe more in the United States, but still helpful anyway. You can manage your billing, add other users if you have like a husband or a wife or other farm workers or people that you'd like to add. You can customize the roles and the permissions that they have. So if you have a delivery driver, as an example, you'd like to add them to LocalLine. They don't need access to all your customer list or all of your sales numbers or your reports, but they probably need access to the delivery reports. And so you can basically say, well, I'd like this person to be able to view and update deliveries and build a special role just for them. And that's effectively it. Great. So let's get back to our presentation here. Good. And if there are any other questions about that, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat here. Great. So we write a lot of success stories. We have a lot of farmers that fortunately have found a lot of success using LocalLine. So we write about them on our blog very frequently. Even Dan, to your question earlier, very possible that other kinds of food sellers have been written about how they found success on LocalLine on our blog. So there's a bunch of links, but effectively we very intentionally from day one designed LocalLine to work just as well for a meat seller as it would for produce, as it would for microgreens or anybody else. It of course takes a lot of time and a lot of thought in order to build an application that works like that. But that was a big thing for us in the early days of the business. So certainly it's a good way to go and read up on how some other businesses are finding success on LocalLine. I mentioned that our support, we're well known for our customer support. We do take that extremely seriously. We always will. There's setup videos, there's support contact information The support center where I took you with all the videos and instructions on how to use the features is support.localine.ca. So that's what that is here. Call us on our local number, call us toll free, talk to a human every time, things that I've sort of mentioned. But again, I stress it, especially at this time of year. Like we know, frankly, it's very important to maximize time in the field and, maximize harvests right now. And so, if you run into anything, our team is here to help you. It's not, we don't want you guys spending more time using these online systems than you have to. This is a helpful slide if you do end up going and using LocalLine. I'll send these slides out to everybody so that you have them as a setup checklist. It links to everything that you would need to do in order to launch your store. So we walked through it a little bit in the demo. Obviously, like I mentioned, first one is adding products, add them to your catalog, make the catalog public. It's a simple 8-step process. There's 2 different kinds of links that you'll be able to have for your business. One is the link dedicated just to your business. So localine.ca/ABC farm as an example. The other one, though, is if you're part of a farmer's market. So LocalLine has a lot of farmers markets that use LocalLine. It's part of the multi-vendor commerce that I was talking about. So a farmer's market will buy a LocalLine subscription. If they have 30 vendors, those vendors will have LocalLine accounts themselves. All of those vendor products pooled into one broader storefront, in which case the link is the link for the market. And so when you go to the markets page, you can filter by vendor, filter by category. It's effectively an online farmers market. We don't have as many of those in Nova Scotia, to my knowledge right now. Most of you would end up with your own dedicated LocalLine link, but it's helpful to make that distinction just so that if you are working with a market, the link is going to be different than if you have your own individual storefront. LocalLine produces a ton of content on how to market your storefront. It's not stuff that's like another full-time job. You don't have to spend 40 hours a week doing this. You'd be amazed what a well-placed shop button on your Facebook page does for customers, that are looking for your products online. So there's a lot of simple tricks and hacks and quick things that you can do to get your storefront out there to more customers online and make it more findable. And so we write ebooks, we write blogs, we do a ton of videos. You can go to our YouTube page. We do a ton of webinars all on this content. It's not, that challenging. It's like quick and easy things that, you can be doing to grow your audience online. Great. Yeah, this is more helpful last year, this slide, when we talked a lot about how do we go from not having ever done like a click and collect to now doing a click and collect. What is the exact process by which you would do that? What I'll do is when I send out this email to everybody, I'll include some links on others that have been very successful in establishing these kinds of programs, because the process tends to be fairly standardized and it tends to be fairly rinse and repeat, right? It's just about defining the process on the pick, the pack, the load, the ship, the invoice and the get paid. That's a 6-step process that you're going to standardize such that if you have not been selling direct to customer, let's say you've only been going to the farmer's market, we'll be able to get you the instructions and the infrastructure such that you can start offering those direct sales without feeling like you have to, reinvent the wheel yourself. I mentioned it, but there's a lot of other content and reading at blog.localine.ca. I know that it's a busy time of year, so there's not much to promote on it per se, but we do spend a lot of time thinking about how to drive more customers, how to get more folks looking at your store, how to send you guys more customers. So sometimes there's helpful things to look at there. Okay, I think that's our last slide, which is perfect because looks like Margaret has a quick Q&A here, or a quick chat. So Margaret's asking, can this be set up cost effectively just for a 1-product sale, 5-pound box of blueberries as an example? I think, Margaret, if I understand what you're asking is like, could you just sell like 1 product basically on the storefront, and maybe even just for like just a sale, like a particular amount of time, a long weekend or a few weeks or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely no problem. Like, I think if you're what we see typically, if you're going to get a lot of value from LocalLine over the long term, is that there tends to be like a intersection, a sweet spot between the number of products that you're managing and the number of customers that you have. You know, tends to be better when there's more products, more customers, therefore more to manage. And so you can lean on LocalLine to be quite helpful operationally in making that process run efficiently and helping customers order more, and, you know, effectively just like leaning on it almost like you would an employee. But you don't have to, right? If you have a lot of blueberries, if you're having a sale, you can absolutely have that link to your storefront. It's a wonderful way to collect sales. It's very easy for you. You can get paid up front with the credit card option as an example, right? So yeah, it's I think that answers your question, but no problem. We've had some other folks that have done similar things. All right, are there any other questions at this time that I can answer? I think we're looking at the right stuff here. Yeah. Helen, I'll unmute you again quickly here, and maybe just making sure that there was nothing big that I missed if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yes, people would need a farm registration number or an aquaculture license number or a Nova Scotia Registry of Joint Stocks number when they apply. What we have found is a few people have applied with a number that isn't a Registry of Joint Stocks number, and perhaps they're using their tax number, or we're not sure, but it needs to be a Registry of Joint Stock number if you don't have one of the other two numbers. I'm hoping that you will all be interested and will apply. I will just say one little thing. We're moving our office. So on Monday is the big day, and our admin assistant probably won't have access to her email throughout that day, but I will do my best to process any applications that come in on Monday myself. But it involves checking with the Department of Agriculture if you've used a farm registration number, so that sometimes takes a few days. If you've used an aquaculture license number, we check on that. And if you've used a Registry of Joint Stocks number, then we're going to go and look for that online to see your status there. So, but other than that, it's fairly simple to get started. And we're looking forward to seeing some people sign on this year and have successes like last year's clients are continuing to have. Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Helen, for reiterating that. Sorry, I butchered that one a little bit earlier. Okay, listen, if there's no other questions, I know it's a very busy time of year. I'm extremely thankful for those who are on the call that you took the time to listen into this today. I hope that it was helpful. The last thing that I'm going to say is, you know, it's very difficult to get everybody's questions answered in a 1 hour, pretty informal webinar. If you have other questions about LocalLine, give us a call. You know, we're partnered with Perennia here. We're happy to just answer whatever questions it is that you have. We're not going to push anything on you. This is about finding the right system for your business. You know, we believe we have built a good program here. But if there's anything that you want to hammer in on, or you're a different kind of business, just let us know. We'll talk to you. We'll sort of let you know what we think. And like Helen said, we hope that it's a good fit for some of you. Great. Okay, well, with that said, we will stop the share here. We will end the webinar. You will all get the recording, as I mentioned, and you will get the slides as well. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.